Every investigation starts with one mystery, but often, the deeper you look, the more you realize one question can open the door to many others. Our latest search brought us to the heart of West Virginia, to the small town of Flatwoods in Braxton County. What began with a simple conversation with a local shop owner turned into an opportunity we couldn't ignore. The chance to investigate a haunted house that had never been examined by any team. But in a place like Sutton and Flatwoods, nothing stands alone. This region has a history woven with strange events and enduring legends. In 1952, multiple witnesses reported a fiery UFO descending from the sky, followed by a terrifying encounter with an entity that became known as the Flatwoods Monster. Just miles away, the people of Point Pleasant would later face their own legend, the Mothman, a winged figure seen by dozens before the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge. And throughout the surrounding mountains, tales persist of Bigfoot and other creatures roaming the dense forests and winding ridgelines of Appalachia. This stretch of West Virginia has become the epicenter of high strangeness, where folklore, fear, and the unexplained all seem to converge. From the moment we arrived in Flatwoods, unusual moments and subtle oddities seemed to follow us. Quiet reminders something unseen was at work. What begins as a simple house investigation turns into an experience we won't soon forget. These are our encounters in Flatwoods.
All right. From the top.
All right, so what started all this was Elizabeth and I wanted to go to the Bigfoot Festival in West Virginia. It happens to be held in Sutton, and they actually have a Bigfoot museum there and the Flatwoods Monster Museum there, so we figured we'd make a couple things out of the trip, go to the festival, check out the museums, just have a weekend there. So we get to Sutton and start hanging our way to the festival, but along the way, as we're passing through Flatwoods, which is on the way to the festival, we spotted this cute little shop, had a bunch of alien decor and Flatwoods Monster stuff outside, and we decided to pull over and detour there real quick. When we arrived, we saw a woman outside, and she actually turned out to be the shop owner. Her name's Debbie. She asked us, "Hey, are you guys going to the Bigfoot Festival? Is that why you're in town?" And we said, "Yeah, we are." So I mentioned that we're a paranormal investigation team, and that caught her attention. She actually stopped us from leaving to let us know that she might actually need our help. She goes on to tell us she had just bought the property right next door to the shop.
And the flower shop and the property behind it, so the vacant house.
Can you tell us about when you first bought it and kind of the very first instances of feeling like there's something off?
Okay. The previous tenants that were in it, they had come to the shop here, which is just across the street, a couple of times, and the children have come here. They've claimed that someone has drug them out of their bed. They've been drugged into the dormer closets. The upstairs seemed to be very active. They were young. They were 5 to 6 years old. So to, make up the stories. They did seem very scared when they did arrive. I, of course, let them stay here. Through the years, are just small stories of a presence being felt in the house.
So you heard stories from the children saying, strange occurrences.
And the mother backed it up.
And the mother backed it up. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But after they left and the house was empty, I tried hiring contractors. Some wouldn't even go in the house. They couldn't explain it. It didn't feel right to enter it. Many didn't go past the front doorway. The fire marshal and the inspector said the inspector wouldn't go past the front door. He said, I've been in a lot of houses. He said, ma'am, I think you have a problem. And I'm cleaning it up. I'll get done what you need me to do. Do you not have an eerie feeling? And I said, I do, but I own it, so I guess I have to go in it. And I say, do you think there's something here? And they're like, we're not going to go that far. We're just going to say, we don't feel comfortable in this house. And tools come up missing. Not that anyone took them or whatever, but they are not where they've left them. They may not have been upstairs at all, and ultimately that tool will be upstairs. And they joke and say it's the Flatwood monster down here messing with them.
So one night, her neighbors call her and say, there's someone in your house again. We see them in the window. So she goes outside, and I guess she was in the shop at this moment in time and was right next door. So she steps out and looks up, and she sees a silhouette in the window, and she takes a photo.
I started putting lights so you didn't know if somebody really was, in there renting it or not renting it. And then the week of Halloween, someone had called me and asked me to take a look outside because there was a silhouette up, or someone up. Wasn't rented because it looked like somebody was upstairs. Actually, they thought the previous renters were in there is what they thought. Right. Like I said, no one could really get in the house at that time because it was locked. Mm-hmm. And the previous people, because I did ask around, it was like, is this for real or not, or, make sure. I honestly thought it might have been the previous people sneaking back in again. And that's when I was informed they don't have a car. You would have heard them come in and out. They live about 10 miles from here. And I was like, okay.
So after seeing that photo, me and Elizabeth got really intrigued about this house. We showed interest in it, and she actually asked us right on the spot, hey, do you just want to go there now and check it out now? We didn't have time for a full investigation, but we were open to doing a preliminary walkthrough to see, get more familiar with the house and see what we might be dealing with. Just getting some baseline readings on the millimeter. Just to confirm how consistent it is so far. Reading 0.0. Cross the rods for yes, or spread them for no. Is there someone here with us who wishes to communicate? I swear I'm not changing how I'm holding these or anything. We'll poke around a little bit more, but I think we'll wrap up here and let the owner know. So as we're just breaking down here, I noticed I had my millimeter set on recording mode. When I set the recording, it was 0.0 baseline, as you can see here on the minimum reading. Max reading, it does show there was a spike at some point. We missed it while we were probably in another bedroom, but something did interact with this, potentially, and there was some sort of energy spike. It had it read a 1.7, which I would say is pretty anomalous. When I was out yesterday, we were out using this. We were getting a baseline of 0.0 to 0.1, 0.2 at the most. So 1.7 is interesting. While I was using the rods, it did feel like something was trying to interact with them, but it felt kind of weak, like it wasn't strong enough to really sway the rods or cross the rods or spread the rods with a lot of strength. So it did eventually get its way there and pull itself together or spread the rods in response to my questions, but it did feel like it was a weak energy. So to us, that told us, just in that short time we were there is potential here that something's going on, especially if the silhouette and what she had told us before about the house. We were game for coming back and actually doing a full investigation. We said, we gotta get Eric here, we gotta do this as a team and investigate the whole house together. But before we left, we decided that, we wanted to check out a little bit more of Sutton, while we were out there. I was looking around and found out that there's a Civil War site nearby called Bulltown Battlefield, maybe 15 minutes from Sutton. So we decided to check it out and just, for the heck of it.
So we were walking in the woods, and it was a hot, muggy summer day. All of a sudden, I got this deep chill deep in my bones, and where my teeth were chattering. I was holding on to Joel, saying, I am so cold. I was like bone-chilling cold, and I could not explain what that was from because it was so hot and muggy outside. Then when we got back to the hotel, I looked down and I noticed that I had these 3-finger bloody marks that went across my chest like this, and it was bloody, and we wiped it off and there was no scratches or marks. I never felt any indication of scratches or anything like that. It was just weird.
It does kind of coincide with the feeling she got in the woods of the chills. Maybe there was this like a soldier who was injured and was kind of reaching out, grasping for help, and latched onto her and kind of just, is in his weakened state, bloodied hand left that impression on her, and that's what she felt. That's the best thing we can come up with. One more small thing happened. As we were getting ready for sleep, starting to slowly start to drift off, I get awakened back up by this breath next to me. Elizabeth was sleeping to my right, but to my left I hear like a breathy sigh or whisper in my ear, kind of like a just something quick like that.
And we both heard that.
Yeah, we both heard it. Just another small unexplained thing, but that was our first experience and first encounters in Sutton, but they wouldn't be the last. Little did we know that as we returned, the strange encounters would just keep escalating, and we'd meet opposition for the investigation we were going to do.
I'm Eric, and been a part of P.A.R.T for a little while now. My experience with communicating with the other side has come in many forms. For me, it's come in through, blood and the spirit of Jesus, through praying, and in an earlier period of my life, I was introduced to tarot cards, which for me now, it really is just a way for me to talk to God with a visual representation. During this trip, though, I had felt a lot of trepidation. I'd felt this strong urge and sensation to use the cards, a prompting, if you will, before we started the trip. And I felt like if God had a message for us or some signs, that if I did a reading for the three of us, it'd probably give us some insight on what we were going to experience. And when we did the reading, one of the cards that stood out to me the most, which has for me and anyone else is familiar with doing tarot card readings, no one likes to see this card when it comes out. And it was the Tower. The Tower card typically represents that there's going to be some challenges ahead. They're going to test the very spirit of the people that are involved in it. ups and downs like you wouldn't believe, challenges, communication problems, sometimes just situations that push back in ways that we're not prepared for, push us up against the wall. But in those situations, we not only learn how to better communicate with each other and bond, but you also learn that when your back's up against the wall, just to keep pushing through and you'll find your way out. There were some other cards that were there that were significant and important for the rest of our journey, but I really feel like the Tower card really set us up for what all happens.
Before we even went on the trip, we were all experiencing personal issues, problems, challenges. At some points it felt like things were falling apart towards the end there before we even got started. We had set this mood of already feeling like, we're going to be facing various challenges of different types. And one of those is simply just a strange person. When we got there late at night, we ran into a gentleman, and he kind of seemed really friendly, especially to Elizabeth in that moment. Stupidly, I had kind of hinted at where we were staying, what room, and he knew the room number. So the next morning, as we're waking up, we get a phone call on our phone, and turns out to be this guy we met last night. What did he say to you on the phone?
He said, "Hey, sweetie, have you had breakfast yet? I'm lonely. I was wondering if you could keep me company for breakfast." And that was really creepy, and I hung up right after he said that.
Eventually, we're just relaxing, getting ready for our day to start, prepping for investigation. And Eric's taking a shower, and as he's in the shower, we start getting a bang, bang, bang on the door. And turns out it's this guy being really weird, and we're just not going to answer that door. And eventually he gave up after knocking for like 5 minutes straight. And Eric decided to go air dry himself off a little bit, in his robe out on the balcony that was in our room. And Eric, what happened when you did that?
So I went outside because I was just I just needed some fresh air. When I went outside, the guy downstairs opened the door from underneath us, heard the sliding door open, and he comes up on the balcony, turns his head up around and looks up and says, "Hey baby, is that you up there? Can I come up there and warm you up?" Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pissed off when this happened, because I knew that this just ain't right.
He thought it was me.
He thought it was her. That means he thought it was her in the shower. He came banging on the door, probably hoping she would come up and answer it, in the towel and all that stuff. It was just creepy. It's f***ed up and weird, to be clear and honest with you. And it was among the few things that, along with our Tower card reading that had happened all throughout this trip, it was kind of the first thing that was very evident that when we do things together on this trip, we have to do them together. Because there's going to be situations that may require us to not be alone.
Right, so after the hotel incident, we put that to the back of our minds and started heading our way to Debbie's place and to see the house, just to start getting some B-roll and, checking things out, meeting up with Debbie. On the way, there's not much in Flatwoods to see, but there is this cool sign that says, "Flatwoods, home of the green monster." We thought it'd be a great photo opportunity spot, so we parked our cars on the side of the road and walked under the sign and got a couple photos. We can consider this the actual start of our purpose of being there, with the intent to go to this house. And right from the beginning, the really weird stuff started happening.
So I was wearing a necklace with a chain, and it clasps in the back, and you have to unclip it to clasp it. And I had a gold and onyx ring. We got some photos of me, and you can clearly see the ring on my chain hanging down. Then as we start walking back to the car, something told me to look down, and I just felt something was off. And I looked down, and I noticed that the ring is missing, but the chain is still attached to me around my neck. It just vanished, and we checked and looked and scouted the small little area we were in and couldn't find it. And it was weird. It was a sunny day. You'd think you'd find it laying on top of the grass somewhere, but nowhere for it to be found.
It wasn't like tall grass or anything.
No.
It would have stood out. It would have been easy to see, so it was a weird moment.
Yeah.
It was a weird moment.
Super unexplainable. It really set the tone for the strangeness of the area.
Oh, yeah.
So we put that behind us and proceeded to the house to start preliminary work on the investigation, getting things like B-roll of the house and meeting up with Debbie. And that's when things continued to happen. My camera up at this point is working fine. I'm using it for B-roll, and suddenly the screen just starts acting up the moment I'm trying to get video of the house, almost as if it didn't want me to. Alright, so we were just getting a bit of B-roll. We're trying to get a bit of B-roll with my other camera, and went to go check the exposure, and my camera is just kind of freaking out right now. I don't know if you can... Oh wait, maybe it's back? Of course, as we record, it's gonna like work again. Okay, now it's working again. So, I don't know. We'll talk to the owner a bit more about weird stuff that happens around the house, but this is a little, I've heard a little bit, and stuff kind of not working, electronics not working, kind of goes with it. So, anyway, I just wanted to document that. It was just a little strange experience just as we got here. You did a preliminary look around the house yourself. I don't know if you want to talk about what you initially picked up on and kind of like the little talk we had.
I've been in, like I said, I've been in haunted houses, been in spiritual situations where, you know, God's had a way of, you know, showing me signs and stuff like that. But this time I went to this house, I was surprised because didn't feel anything. Didn't even sense anything. There was no details or imagery. There was no like sounds, there was no communication going on, and I told them, no shadow of a doubt at the time, there's nothing here. It was not the case, but in that moment, it definitely didn't feel like we had, you know, feel like we're getting punked a little bit, to be honest. But Joel and I talked about that, and he's just like, no, we're still going to go about it all the same. And part of our research is also debunking things, so if there's nothing here, we'll find out. But if there is something here, you'll find out. And I was like, okay, now.
I was surprised too, knowing Eric and all the things he can pick up on, and for him to say he just felt nothing there almost seemed wrong to me, like almost seemed off. And I kind of started thinking, is there something here that's influencing him in a way where it's blocking his ability to kind of feel out the things that are truly there? So yeah, we pressed forward. We decided to take a quick detour down to downtown Sutton. We wanted to check out the Bigfoot Museum while there, kill some time, because we wanted to do the investigation at night. One thing that's interesting is when we got there, the museum clerk actually seemed to have been expecting us, saying, "Oh, you guys are here." As it turns out, she had gotten a call from a different research team who was going to be in the area, and they did give her a heads up that, hey, we're going to be in the area, we might stop by. That led to a couple walking up to us and saying, "Hey, are you the research team?" And we said, "Well, we are a research team. Do you have anything for us?" And a gentleman there kindly gave us a Bigfoot testimony of his own.
My grandson was 3 years old, and he was playing in the front yard, and I was around back working, and all of a sudden I heard him screaming, and I ran down to see what was going on, and I said, "Andrew, what's going on?" And he said, "There's a big monkey staring at me." So it was about a month and a half later, our meter, our pole beside the house, caught on fire. It was an old one, and they had built a new house, and it was too small. So I'm an electrician, so I decided, well, I'm going to put a whole new service in. I'm working on putting the meter on the pole, and all of a sudden this rock comes flying down off the hill. So I just discarded it, and I started working again. Next thing I know, a rock about that big come flying down off the hill and hit the pole. About the size of a basketball. And it had to have been at least 150 feet, and there no human could throw that out there. So anyway, we come and let all that go aside, and one night we had a little campfire, and we were roasting hot dogs, and we heard this unbelievable noise. I call it howl, and it was probably, I'd say 150, 200 yards down the hollow, and we could hear something moving, and within like a minute, I'm talking over a half a mile back over on the hill, we heard it again. And then it circled on around. We heard it again.
Well, and after Andrew saw that big monkey staring at him, we were watching that Finding Bigfoot on TV, and you know that picture they have, you know, the Bigfoot growls. He ran over and jumped in the chair with him. He said, "Grandpa, that's the big monkey that was looking at me."
While we were there, they had lots of like cute merchandise and stuff, and you know, I think Eric, you saw something that you thought Elizabeth might like, right?
I just thought it looked cute on her. You know?
And they were Mothman earrings.
Yeah, they were little earrings. They got the little black moth on them and like the little beady red eyes.
Yeah.
You know, it was just adorable. But I thought it looked nice on her. And accessorily, like when I'm talking in the spirit, I heard get her the earrings. So I'm like, okay. Because in that moment, I was just like, ooh, I'm hearing the spirit. This is good, because I haven't really heard anything this whole time I've been here. It's nice to hear anything right now on that wavelength. So I was like, yeah, I'd be happy to.
So Eric got her the earrings, and the person at the front desk put into a little paper bag, kind of like a wax bag, semi-translucent. We decided, you know, while we're downtown, let's check out the Heyman House. The Haunted Heyman House is a very well-known haunted attraction in town. They were closed for the day, but we just wanted to walk up to it to check it out. While we were walking down there, you know, everything was fine. We saw the house. But on the way back, again...
Yet again, I had a feeling like something wasn't right, like the necklace and the ring. And I look into my bag, and I notice the Mothman earrings are not in the bag anymore. And I was holding the bag upright and with the top sealed closed. And the Mothman earrings are just gone, not there.
Alright, so we are just outside walking around Sutton. We checked out the Heyman House here. It's unfortunately closed today. This is a well-known haunted house in the area. But something weird just did happen as we were out here. This is actually the second time this has happened today. First time, Elizabeth, we were by the Flatwoods Monster sign, and Elizabeth lost a ring that she had around her neck that Eric gave her.
The chain never broke.
The chain was around her neck the whole time, and it never broke off, but somehow the ring went missing, and we couldn't find it. We went back to look. And what just happened now, Elizabeth? You got something from the museum,
Yes.
some earrings.
I bought her some earrings.
Yep.
And had in his bag, clearly visible.
Yep.
And handed it to her because I didn't want to hold it anymore.
As we're walking across the bridge.
Yep. It was upright the whole time. I saw that
He
the
was
earrings-
behind, so he would have seen them fall if he was not far from behind
Yep.
from me. So, and it's just mysteriously just gone.
Yeah. So it just.
See,
disappeared.
nothing.
And I pulled it out of the bag thinking like.
And this isn't like something you would also hear it, right? Like if you were just for some reason to hold it upside down.
Sorry, I don't want to deal with the wasp.
Oh, wasp. Yeah, you would have heard it drop and the paper would have fell out or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, and Eric
And
would
no,
notice it
and you were purposely holding it upright because you didn't want to lose the earrings.
Correct.
But somehow the earrings are missing.
Yes.
So that's the second instance today of Elizabeth seemingly just getting a piece of jewelry that Eric had given her mysteriously disappear. So we don't know what that is. We're just documenting it happened. We're all scratching our heads. Swear that we're not pulling anyone's leg. It's just unexplainable.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see if they turn up. We're tracing our steps right now.
Yep.
Oh,
you
wait.
Found them. Oh my gosh.
Eric might have just found him actually.
It looked like they were just placed neatly right on the sidewalk, which is weird.
It was weird for me too because I had just handed her the bag. I wasn't being clumsy about it. We had already been losing things, so it was kind of a joke, honestly. That I got her that ring for her birthday, the one that was lost, and part of it, outside of hearing it to get her the earrings, was also like, well, we lost the ring, but here's some earrings in exchange. You won't lose these. Well, what happened? Like she ended up somehow losing them. Like I said, I was walking with her, so like I didn't see her be clumsy with it. I didn't see her open the bag, turn it upside down or nothing. It was just another one of those weird situations where it got us all kind of looking at each other, a little frustrated, like what the heck is going on? something f***ing with us. Like what's going on here?
I told everybody, hey, like this is really weird stuff. There's definitely something that's like messing with us. And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
breaking down our sanity a little bit here, making us feel confused and absent-minded and challenging our memory. So again, we move past this, we head back to the hotel. Yet again, we have this other moment of confusion. All right. We just had a slight moment of panic. I couldn't find the camera. We were just in Sutton. We had a weird experience with Elizabeth losing her earrings that seemed to have popped out of the bag she was holding them in and landed on the street, on the sidewalk. And then we drove around, got back to the hotel area, and as I was unloading my gear just to charge it up for the night, I was like, where's the camera? And this just seems to be a theme for today, is that we are just being absent-minded for no particular reason. I don't think it's a lack of sleep or anything like that. We slept okay. We're just like doing things that, I don't know, don't normally do. I'm not someone who's typically absent-minded. I know where I put my stuff. I'm very clear-headed on that. Pretty OCD sometimes about where I put my things. Mm-hmm. And out of all things, the camera that we're using to primarily film the investigation, I suddenly can't find it in my gear. And I'm like, uh-oh. Did they take the camera? You're probably wondering where I found the camera. Well, it was in my hood there. Like right there, outside my car. Just sitting between the windshield and the engine block. Why I put it there, I don't know. I vaguely remember putting it there momentarily while I was talking to someone, but I never noticed it after that point, I guess, and I thought it was in the car. So it's been the theme of the day. Now we are hyper vigilant of all of our equipment because it almost feels like something is just screwing with our heads a bit, lowering our sanity a little bit, to kind of get in the way of what we're trying to do out here. So just want to document that little moment there. It's not where I expected to find it. It's sitting in front of my windshield, outside my car, between the windshield and the engine bay, and that little crevice where the windshield wipers go.
And you've been driving with it out there for...
If I left it there, I would have been driving at least almost an hour back and forward, to the museum and back. Looking back on it, I do believe I remember putting it there as we were getting ready to go downtown. But I remember thinking to myself, that's kind of a dumb spot. Let me make sure I put this back in the car and open up my bag and put it in there where it goes. But yet, that's where I found it. So it's almost as if something was messing with me, it just wanted to give me that doubt in my mind that you can't remember things correctly right now because you thought that you put it back, but you didn't. But I'm pretty sure I did. So if I didn't, it's still weird because I'm not usually that way. I'm usually not that absent-minded, no. Especially with a primary piece of gear.
The concept of sanity, I mentioned earlier, I wasn't sane on this trip. I wasn't like losing my mind entirely, but there were things troubling me in my personal life. And so I had this all on my mind and all in my experience the whole time that I was there, and it got really bad after a while. But the reason I mention that is because going back to the concept of what we experienced with the tower, it was challenging all of us, and it to the point of almost like pushback and like almost like separation. Like it was, we had to stick together really hard on this trip, and the little things that were happening that were ticking us off, pushing us away, and like losing the ring and then the earrings, and I feel like all it was just whatever. It wasn't even just about the items; it was about turning us against each other. It felt like there was something out there doing everything in its power to push back. Didn't want us there.
So fortunately, we remained as sane as we could.
Yep.
And we moved on to the actual house investigation. right, we just got done with Debbie getting her testimony of the house and are preparing to do our initial walkthrough. We're just going to do a safety walkthrough, make sure we know the house is in great condition. It's got some holes in the floor and things like that. So we're just going to walk through and check it out, do some baselines, EMF baselines, things like that, just to make sure everything's zeroed out or close to zero. That way, if we do detect any anomalies through the night, we know they're anomalies and not environmental. So yeah, here we go. All right. We are about to enter the house. Let's take a look inside, see what we're dealing with. Oh, she's definitely done a little bit. That's warmer in here. Just in case. So I just kind of do a walk around. Ominous. It's not sitting on the counter. So this must be the floor she talked about. They took out. Gotta watch out about these floors. You can tell they are not in the best condition. Some wall graffiti that says "Time to Die." Charlie. Like Charlie wrote it. This is, yeah, no, the floor is very sus.
So I've noticed that people were writing things and putting dashes on them. But one of the things I also noticed is that somebody put like a pentacle with a dash on it that said "Mom." Mom was also on the outside window upstairs looking in. So it's like when I saw the pentacle, it made me think someone was like doing some sort of like witchcraft bullshit here. Which if there was a spirit here and was trying to push them away now, they probably didn't like that.
I guess we'll find out.
I also understand that if you're a spirit here and you've been sealed here by accident somehow, you don't have any way to understand how to get out of that. The only way you can get out of it is someone breaks their bomb. And that's what I was just doing.
Yep.
But I can show you where that pinnacle was if you want to follow me.
Yep.
Sure.
Just this right here. So it's like they just carved it in there, put a little circle around it, and then wrote "-mom."
Yeah, there's writing all over the place in this place.
Feeling cool and special like you do in the bathroom wall in a high school or something like that.
And the writing we're seeing is only what's left because the walls have been stripped of the paint and boards. It's down to
What
the.
else is there?
I mean, this is the kind of.
Yeah, child.
There's definitely like young
Yes, kids were
people here. She
definitely
said there was like 6 and 5-year-olds who were reporting things. Okay, that's just part of the All right, let's go upstairs. I feel like upstairs is actually safer than down here. Our safety walk, just knowing the house. We know where the floors have issues, and downstairs is kind of the more dangerous area for that, I think. Alright, so we are just going to do a quick EMF baseline just to document the house in terms of EMF levels. Power is off in the home, so there should be no power line pickups or anything like that. Our devices are on airplane mode, just to make sure those do not interfere. And as you can see, so far we are 0.0 milligauss. I'm not going to bother walking through the flooring there, missing flooring. Alright, and just in case you didn't believe me about the power being off, here is the circuit breaker. Boom, 0.0, right on the circuit breaker box. Alright, so completed the sweep of the house. We're at 0.0 milligauss baseline, 0 spikes. So it is electrically dead as it can be in here, meaning that if we do get any spikes on this at any point, that may suggest something's interacting. Alright, we will continue onward with our investigation. So what I would like to do is try and replicate the silhouette photo by backlighting this, have someone stand there, and then someone go outside and take a photo.
Oh yeah, sure. Why don't, yeah, Liz and I can stand here.
Okay, and I'll take the photo. Alright, cool.
We'll keep the camera just in case we disappear.
Yeah, keep the camera.
You can have your evidence, yeah.
I'll be safe going down.
You right up to the window, or is he like a little bit further from the window?
He is right up against the window.
Alright, back up a little bit, Eric.
Oh, careful with the thing.
Interesting, okay. Can we swap for a little bit?
Yep, hold on.
You move a bit to the right.
She moved like literally like a centimeter.
You stay there. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna come back up.
Copy. Oh, hello. That's cute.
What?
Oh, it's something. There was a spirit just pulling on my flashlight. It was pulling it back, like, but it was at like, yeah, it's like that. It's like right at the, it's right at that like height level of my arm.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's probably a child.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I obviously can't see you with the eyes in the recorder, but, yeah, where do you want me to go? I don't know, I wanted to show me something over here.
Okay.
I was reading a story on here earlier and I got pulled to the other room, so. Yeah, so based on what I'm receiving telepathy-wise, what has contacted me already, technically, is a little girl's spirit, Addison. So, I'm calling her Addie just for short. She was tugging on me here. I'm guessing it's to go to the wall. I was reading the story. It was a little hard to do with the camera. It was just like a story that was written about something with the mom and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. The only reason I keep saying like I just don't know is just because like if they're just here, they're just here. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. They just want to play too. We didn't bring anything to write on the walls too, so I can't write with them.
Wait, what?
Oh, you were? Okay, so like, Addison was talking to me and she was telling me that, you know, she wanted me to write on the walls too, but I didn't bring anything to write on the walls.
She tugged on his flashlight.
Yeah.
Wanted his attention.
My arm was like pulled back like this, but it was like tugging like a kid, like pulling on your coat. Yeah, exactly. My arm. I was just like, oh, that's so cute. And, you know, I turned around and I'm like, obviously there's not going to be anything visibly there, but I could tell it was just like this like little kid wanting to play. And there we go. We got Addison right there. I was like, which one are you? You know, I'm Addie. Okay, hey Addie. They were writing a little book over there. See page 1, page 2, page 3. It goes on to page 8.
This is Eric at the photo, or at the window. See how large he is?
Yeah.
That's him close up. Again, Eric in the window. This is you in the window. Now you are almost the right size.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
But you're still taller.
Mm-hmm.
See how short they are?
Mm-hmm.
They are probably, yeah, they might be child size. All right, Debbie says she does have any particular color, Eric?
No. She likes green. Green?
Okay, I'll illustrate it. Alright, so I just want to show you our setup here. I've got the millimeter propped up. Also running on audio. And that is pretty much it. And we're now beginning the writing experiment. Since Addison had asked us to.
Something told me to write that, so yeah. Just felt it. Wanted to. The spirit know that they are loved.
Alright, I'm going to take these motion detecting balls. They're really just cat toys, but pretty common in the paranormal field to use these. Pretty simple devices. Once they're sitting still, they will stop flashing. And if anything moves them or causes them to get triggered, they'll start flashing like they're doing now. Give it a second to see how they're turning off. And then we mess with them, they turn on. So I'm going to put these around the room. One on the table here. Alright. The balls are placed. If Addison or anyone else is around and wants to say hi to us, all you gotta do is try and mess with the ball. It'll light up lots of different colors. Lets us know where you're at, where you want us to play. It could be fun. Make the balls light up. If you wave your hands in front of it, if you touch it, you can make the numbers go up and down. That lets us know if you want to play or not. And in this box, if you just want to walk up to it, talking to it, lets us hear you.
Yeah, there was a...
What was that?
Oh, I was just telling them they can play with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're here to give you company and, you know, give you attention that you may not have gotten. Give you attention that you may not have gotten. Game of tic-tac-toe. Everyone's taking turns trying to channel Addie here, who apparently is the tic-tac-toe champion because she beat us multiple times. I felt compelled when you guys were playing just to kind of start paying attention to the walls. I was kind of just asking for like, wow, you guys really like to write. Can you show me a message? But I ended up finding a message, I think, for Eric.
Oh, you're right.
And the message
That's crazy.
is...
I'm just talking about this.
Eric, are you alive? Are you a ghost? Who do you like? And who do you want to date? And it kind of trails off.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is.
We were just having a conversation in here about, like, when I'm a ghost, I can come play with you. So, and we were just talking about something about that outside.
Some personal stuff.
Yeah.
It seems very relevant and pointed.
Yeah. Kind of flabbergasted. I have butterflies in my heart right now.
I mean,
butterflies in my stomach.
when I was reading that, I was like,
I wonder if, like,
did you write that just trying to channel it? But
no,
this is
That's
pencil.
Yeah, and we don't have pencil.
It's been here before, so it's like whoever wrote this kind of just like amongst all the tic-tac-toe games and math felt for some reason compelled to just write a message.
Well, the fact is that, like, the fact that they knew that I was going to be here
Yeah, I mean, this
Like the
feels
exact
very...
spelling of my name.
It really feels.
They knew I was going to be here in spirit.
Yeah.
That means the Holy Spirit came to them before I was even prepared to be here.
Yep.
I'm really, all I'm doing here now is, aside from spending time with them, I guess I'm just fulfilling that time loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're completing the circuit.
Completing the circuit, exactly. Like, it feels purposeful. I'm just trying to think of a way to put it. It's a very strange feeling of being like seen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, at some point in time, a part of me was here with them. The spirit was here with them, spending time with them, and then I'm just called back here to be with them again, to see them out. Now that they're ghosts. You know what I mean? Like in the flesh, they're writing that to me. Here I am in the flesh writing to them. How many times did we come back here just to see them out? You know, that's how it feels right now.
Yeah.
And if anything, this whole week getting here, everything is just kind of crazy. Everything I faced with this.
We had a lot of challenges on the way getting here.
Just to know that, like, this was all in alignment. It's pretty wild.
Alright, I'll just take it off real quick. Here's so you guys can hear. So this is Spirit Box. And basically, it's going to scan through all those radio frequencies. It's believed that the spirits can potentially, if there are any spirits here, that they can manipulate the radio frequencies and pick words and give us responses. We can hear them talk directly to us. I'm going to plug in the headphones just so it's not going to ruin everyone's ears hearing the thing. I'm going to try and get just into like a meditative state with this and just really zone in on what I'm listening to. I probably won't be able to hear you guys at all. I'm just going to close my eyes and just meditate on the sounds. So if you two would like to just talk with them and prompt them to try and use this to speak to you through me,
They're ready to use
that
it.
is the idea.
Yeah.
They understand?
They understand. They're ready to use it. They're just.
All right, cool.
They said when you had your headphones on, they said like they're patient. They're just waiting for you to do what you're doing.
So you guys will. I'm gonna conduit through them, through me to you, using this. Heard hey.
Hello. What is your name? Is this Addie?
Do you guys want
Hello.
Hello. Is this Addie or is this somebody else?
Yeah.
This is Addie? Okay. Hello, Addie.
Ashley.
Is Ashley a friend of yours? Does she live here with you? In this house?
No.
She didn't live with you in this house? Okay.
Chicago.
Who's from Chicago?
A trip.
Was it a positive experience or a negative experience?
You are.
I just said
Sorry.
that. You don't need to be sorry.
What are you sorry for?
Yeah. Can you tell us what you're sorry about?
Joel.
Oh, sorry, kids. Joel is not.
Hi.
Yeah, he's not sad or nothing. He's just trying really hard to focus, and that's how he's trying. He's trying to listen to you really well. He's not sad. He's happy. He's just in a state of meditation. This is very normal for him. You don't need to apologize.
But yes, that is Joel.
Yeah, he does look sad, but he's not sad. He's just trying to focus. He's trying to listen to you guys. This is new for him.
What else do you want to tell us? Talk to us.
Mama?
Where's your mama? Is she here? Did your mom?
Mom?
Mom, yes, I said that, yeah.
Maybe?
Was your mom 30? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was 30 years old. What was your mom's name?
Go.
Go? Do you want us to go? Or did she go away from you?
No.
No, what?
I'm getting ringing in my ear on the left side.
Mm.
It's usually a sign of something negative coming.
And Spirit's saying go.
Yeah, they're saying go.
No.
Yeah.
Explore?
Yes, we are explorers. We're here to explore this
Maybe-
house.
Maybe they want us to leave the room.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want us to leave the room? Are you ready for us to go?
He wants to go outside to the back of the house, like he asked me to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's do that then.
Yeah. We'll do that. Attack.
What's up?
So basically, it wants us to go and
Explore the backyard.
explore the backyard. We believe it was Addie communicating with us at first, and she was saying another name. Do you remember the name?
Ashley.
Ashley. And I don't know if Ashley is her mom, who was 30 years old. And
Yeah, I remember the mom.
they-
I remember hearing 30 at some point.
Yeah, I asked how old the mom.
Ashley, mom, 30,
30,
Chicago.
Chicago trip.
We were like, do you want... Then I remembered that they wanted us to walk around the back of the house in the beginning. And I was like, do you want us to go outside and explore the back of the house? And then you were like, just like immediately, like, yeah. I was like, okay.
All right, so let's go do that.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, I think we are done in this house. They want us to go out and,
Yeah.
I think they're done too.
yeah.
All right, we just wrapped up at the house. Overall, got the sense that we were interacting with some childlike energy, childlike spirits. Seemed to be channeling Addison, Addie. That's what we felt, at least. So we just walked out the house and sort of escorted them out, escorted that energy out, and hope that will help address some of the sensations other people were feeling. We never really felt threatened or anything like that. Nothing scary feeling. So anyway, we're gonna call it a night here, but our trip to Sutton is not over. It's just night one, and we'll see what else we get our hands into while we're out here. Thanks, see ya. So by the end of our investigation, we wrapped things up. We felt like we kind of had some answers, and we brought those over to Debbie to let her know what was going on. She was originally the one that really wanted the answers and to understand what kind of presence was going on at the house. We talked to her about Addison and mentioned the name, and lo and behold, she knew Addison, and still does know Addison. Turns out that Addison's alive and breathing, which kind of told us what we're dealing with may actually be a fractured spirit of Addison who went through trauma.
Whether it was physical and violent or sexual or whatever, those are details I'm not aware of. But I understand that when a spirit, the one that's living inside of us, experiences that, sometimes our soul can get fractured and like a glass, it shatters, but it's still in place. Sometimes those fragments can leave us. And in those moments, in order for the body to continue, in order for the spirit to continue, it has to separate from itself for a period of time. And I believe that what we were experiencing there, in trueness of heart, that we were talking to the young spirit of Addison that had separated from her body because it could not handle being in the child state, inside all the experience of whatever pain that she had experienced. And that is what was left in the house. And spirit that was there wanted to leave and couldn't. This was the only home it knew. So even when the host left, it was still there. Something was still holding it down. So it came to asking Addison when we went back into the house, if I can promise you that you'll be guided to go back to where your home actually is, would you like to do that? And she said, if I can go with you outside of the house, I'll go. It's like, I trust you. And that was a process of freeing the spirit. And in the name of Jesus, I prayed that, the Holy Spirit would be present, as it was with us, to have this connection, to guide her out of the house, follow us to the train tracks, and, be on her way, getting her past the property line, which was the train tracks. And that's what we did, the train tracks, next to Debbie's shop.
And it feels really good to help. And that's what we did, helped free a spirit.
Yeah, it was a unique experience.
Yeah.
I've been in situations prior to that where we would be communicating with spirits, not with P.A.R.T, but with my previous experiences with the supernatural and paranormal. This one was special. This one was truly unique and memorable.